I respect your time. You have to respect my time. This is something we had to teach so many entrepreneurs in this country. People in US, even Indian Americans, they respect the qualities and the strengths and the talents that one has, and then they work around. The spirit of collaboration in India, comparatively, is now beginning to form. You need somebody to present about your business, where it was yesterday, where it is today, and where it is going. And I call it as win, win, win. Everybody has to win.
This is episode 7 of Dream 100 Show with Miss Geetha Ramamurthy. Welcome to the Dream 100 Show, listeners. I am your host, Savitha Hosamane.
And I'm your co-host, Gunjan.
Each week, we interview today's most successful and inspiring business owners with winning teams
who had the courage to chase their dreams in spite of all the challenges.
Join us as we bring you everything that goes on in the minds of successful business owners during decision-making process.
And gain insights to make smarter decisions.
In today's episode, we talk to Ms. Geetha Ramamurthy, who is the co-founder and CEO of GiGa Innovation Center. GiGa has been instrumental in providing Indian entrepreneurs access to the US market with huge networking opportunities. She works dedicatedly with startups, which are at its early stages, and supports them to identify their gaps, evaluate their ideas, empower them with skills, strategize their approach to the market with the necessary tools, and eventually help them to get funded only if they are looking for an investment option. Amazing, isn't it? Also, she mentors growth stage companies to scale to the next level. She is the knight in shining armor for startups and the go-to person for every entrepreneur and business leader. She is truly a global entrepreneur with a collaborative and an energizing spirit to the core. So let's get set to hear it out from her right here, right now. Welcome to the Dream 100 Show, Mrs. Geetha. It's truly an honor and pleasure to have you here. From your own perspective, how would you describe yourself as a person?
Yeah. I was born with certain skills, but then afterwards, certain talents and all that. And afterwards, I learned. So how I can describe me is I'm a passionate entrepreneur to start with. And I'm a good communicator. And the thing is, I get things done. Those are the three things.
Awesome. You said that you are a very good communicator, a passionate entrepreneur. Did you have anybody as a role model initially to look up to, where you got this feeling that even I should also be an entrepreneur? Because I'm sure at that time when you started off, it was not like entrepreneurship was not looked upon as something as a great thing to pursue with.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, it came to me in a very indirect manner. First of all, the person that I consider as a great teacher, I mean, he didn't teach me anything, but I learned by observation. And a mentor is Dr. Gururaj Deshpande. He is the chairman emeritus of the Boston chapter of TiE. And even today, I am like family to him and he's like family to us, and also a source of inspiration to me. And so that's where it all comes from. So the entrepreneurship inspiration came to me when he hired me as the executive director for the Boston chapter of TiE in 1998.
Okay. So prior to it, how was your journey? Like, what was your education and how did you start off your professional journey?
Okay. Born and brought up in Bangalore. I went to Mount Carmel's and I was doing my BSE degree in science, arts and sciences. And halfway through my degree, I got married and I went to Boston. and continued my studies in Boston in Northeastern University. There I got a degree in medical technology and a master's in medical technology, which is nothing but diagnostic medicine. Just to give you an example, when you go to the hospital to see a doctor, they draw a lot of blood and collect a lot of specimens from patients. And those specimens come to the laboratory, and we analyze it and we diagnose it and then send it to the doctors. So that is what my specialization is, but totally changed after joined TiE.
Awesome. How did GiGa happen?
Okay. GiGa happened because when I was in TiE in 2004 and 2007, I led 2 venture capital delegation trips to India. We brought 30 venture capitalists from Boston to India. We visited 4 cities, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Delhi. And both times I learned that entrepreneurship was just taking shape in India at that time. I learned that there are lots and lots of gaps here. And, we wanted to teach these entrepreneurs, train them, guide them, and also get them the networks. Then I said, one way for them to expand their network is abroad. That's why using the TiE networks, we came up with this name. The name came up in a very, very funny way. My name is Geetha and my son's name is Ghanasham. I asked one of our advisors to give me a short name for our company that includes Geetha and Ghanasham. He said, how about GiGa? So it's Geetha and Ghanasham. But we changed the spelling a little bit for GiGa. We made it GI. That means giving Indians. Mm-hmm. Ghanasham is global and access. That's how the name came up.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So then we said there is, in addition to connecting people to people globally, we also need to educate them and train them. That's where the whole concept of giving Indians global access came from.
So how did the entrepreneurs react? Were they open to the idea? Because during 2004 and all, there was not much of internet which was rampant or anything like that. I'm sure you would have had a lot of challenges then.
Yeah, I was still in TiE in that time, 2004, and I left TiE in 2008. Actually 2010. So I was still in TiE and I was just creating a network and helping those people connect to people in India, connecting people to people in US, so on. So we were continuing to do that. Only after 2010, I started developing this. And I also, worked in as a senior executive after I left TiE in 2 companies. Then after that, I came to India and started my own.
Can you just give us a comparison, like how people over there look at business in Boston? And once you started interacting with entrepreneurs here, I'm sure there have been a lot of variations in the way they approach their business. So just an insight.
Yeah. The most important thing, that quality they have is collaboration, partnerships, right? And the openness to collaborate. And they know that I specialize in something. Nobody is going to steal my idea. Nobody is going to take that and, do their own things. Some ideas have been stolen, but not in that stage of development. I'll give you one example. This Cafe Coffee Day, not Cafe Coffee Day. In US, it's Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Right? Starbucks. And in Starbucks, people come in, have a cup of tea and start discuss about their meetings and all that. And they write things, they used to write things on the napkins and little pieces of paper and all that to explain. There are a couple of times where they've either left the napkin there or left the piece of paper there. Somebody has taken the idea and somebody has become successful. And we do have some case studies like that. But those are in the beginning stages. But once you launch, once you start, people in US, even Indian Americans, they respect the qualities and the strengths and the talents that one has. And then they work around it. So that is one quality that has that people have in the US, and they practice it to the fullest, and that's what makes them very, very successful. That spirit of collaboration. And the spirit of collaboration in India, comparatively, is now beginning to form. They're kind of saying, okay, I should not be afraid to share my thoughts and all that. But it still has to go a long way.
Do you think it is because of the competition, huge competition that exists here? People are so much constricted to their ideas?
No, competition is there worldwide. It's just that mindset, somebody is going to steal me, and somebody is going to pull me down. So these kind of things are there. And, people should not be afraid of this thing, because nobody can be you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can replace you or copy you. To some extent they can, but not to a great extent. And once you get that confidence, then you can succeed very well. Yeah.
After you left TiE, then you said 2 years you worked somewhere as an executive. After that, how was your journey?
After that, when I already had brought these venture capitalists, we had met a lot of entrepreneurs and all that. So we knew where the gaps are. We came here. Luckily for me, the co-work environment was just starting. Luckily for us, we have a ancestral property in Rajajinagar, my father's old home. We occupied the first floor, and then for some years we had rented it out. People used to come to us and say, we want to rent in this place. It was so funny. And then those people moved out, and then we decided to see the terminology people use makes a huge difference, right? We used to call it as Innovation Center. We, like in the US, we call it as incubation center, accelerators that you use now. We used to call it as innovation center. And we advertised it as Innovation Center. Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up for 6 months. And because they didn't understand the terminology. Okay. Then one day, 6:30 in the evening, I remember it very well. I and my son, we were trying to close the office and go home. Then one elderly gentleman came in. Then we told him, this is an innovation center and this is what we do. And then he said, oh, this is a co-work space. Then we caught on that word co-work, because that is a word that is used here. And that is a word people understand. So we started advertising like that. Within 2 months, we filled the place.
Wow. So using the right terminology.
Terminology is very important. Very important. And in the US, if you say co-work space, they think about it a bit. They use the words innovation centers, incubators, things like that. That is more used in the conversations. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. This is something which is very insightful.
Yeah.
Before you actually venture out, I think everybody should get used to the kind of terminologies for their respective businesses.
Yes. Believe me, when we came from US to India, we had to learn so many new things, including the behavior of people and how to understand people. If they say one thing, do they mean that? Things like that. Because here in US, there is much more straightforward conversation, and trust factor is very high. Their deals have been done just by a shake hand. Here, that doesn't happen. We had to learn how to convince people, how to make them understand what we are doing. They always used to say one thing. Oh, you are from America. You don't know anything about India. You don't understand us. Today, they don't say that because we talk like Indians.
You mean you talk the language of Indians?
Yeah, language of Indians. And we use the same gestures. We use everything. And so they are a lot more open now. And now what I do in conversations with corporate executives and also business leaders is, in the beginning itself, I teach them, you need to be like this, you need to be like that. You may think I'm a little bit strange, but you're not going to be successful if you don't practice these things.
Wow.
They open up. Even the people who are a lot more older than I am, they respect that and they follow. And oh, we are happy that you are here. We would love to take your advice, all that. And in order to get to that level of making them respect and understand what we are saying, it took us 3-4 years. Yeah,
quite
it
a
took
long
us.
time.
Yeah, it's quite a long time because you have to learn. First, you have to open up and you have to give them something and then correct them. When they come to you, you have to correct them. First, you have to get them in the door. That itself is complicated. And once they are in the door, they are kind of half convinced. And then you have to convince them 100%.
Okay, so in this process of learning, unlearning, and incorporating things, wasn't it a bit disappointing for you, like that it is taking so much of time, putting so much of effort, because the same energy, if at all you had put there, you would have achieved far greater success. Here, I think the success rate was not that very quick. So how did you manage that?
It's all about positive thinking, right, and getting inspired. I never lost my touch with the people in the US. Whenever I had a challenge or something like that, I would always talk with them, and then they would give me some advice. They would inspire me. They would guide me. They would always say to me, hey, this is not the end of the world. Let's change a little bit. So that changing attitude, I learned it very quickly, and that helped me a lot. Today, when I go to a meeting, I have no expectations.
Okay.
Nothing but open mind. And I'll say, okay, if this guy says this, I'll tell him this. Things like that. Yeah. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Oh, awesome. When you started off with your innovation come co-working space, how did that develop? What were the success stories there?
Okay. The more and more we started meeting startups, growth stage companies and all that, we saw a lot of gaps in the way they do business, right? And the kind of services that they are getting and all that. Just to give you one example, most of them have the CAs who do their accounting and finance and all that. These CAs, they just come, they just take care of their accounting, they report, and they help these people file taxes, etc. That kind of reporting or record keeping will not excite the investors, because it's kind of like an old fashioned way. Then I said to myself that these people not only need advice, they also need support services. That's where we created this project called GiGa CALM, CALM, that stands for compliance, accounting audit, legal. And because some companies are going abroad, they need some legal advice from abroad also. So legal is very important. And the last is marketing. Marketing has become such a paramount need in India and abroad also. It's because the whole marketing landscape has changed. It's changed into digital and social media. In the old days, it used to be, oh, can I have an appointment with you? I'll come and present my company. That ain't happening today. Nobody wants to give that time. And so what is happening is all the businesses have to unlearn and learn new things. And so that's where our marketing is becoming a very paramount support. That's where we started this. And then for the growth stage companies, we called it as 10x organizational transformation. You were successful up until this point. Now, if you want to go to the next level, you need to change. You need to transform some of the policies and businesses. We have a company example. We have a company that is looking for funding. And this man he's a PhD. So PhDs think very differently than entrepreneurs, right? They know their deep knowledge in their thing and they try to apply that to everything. It doesn't work. And this man has been doing business for the past 10 years. And now he's looking for funding. I had to tell him that you need a business strategist. You won't believe it. I told him, where is your team? I need a slide on your team. He just sends me his photo and his background. That's my team. And I said, investors are going to, run away from this. You need to have a team. Then he said, what do you want me to do? I said, very basic. You need a business strategist who advises you, because this man is not a good presenter. You need somebody to present about your business, where it was yesterday, where it is today, and where it is going. For that, you need a business strategist and a good communicator. And second thing is, we will work with him and we will guide him and advise him to what we require when we take you to the investors. He ended up hiring 2 people. We will let them learn about our business, then we'll come back to you. So like that, that is what we do. We make people unlearn and learn new things. Or at least learn new things if you don't want to unlearn old things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So according to you, who are the most important in a business? Is it the investors, the team of investors, or is it the team which is actually working for you?
You mean working for us in the company or for us?
Yeah.
Okay. In a company, it's a combination of everything. See, in the old days, or in Indian culture, business culture, they are so bent on the titles, right? Hierarchy. I'm a business leader. I will do all the decisions, blah, 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 and all that. They don't realize maybe there is a manager below them. He knows more and he knows how to make changes. They don't realize that. Oh, he's just a manager. What does he know? He's managing 10 people. So we slowly are changing that kind of culture within that one company. Yeah, we are not changing the whole world here. Whoever is our client, we say that bring your manager to the thing. And on the other hand, we also get very surprised about some of the older generation leaders who are quick to change and so quick to learn. We are learning from them. It's amazing. I have a call this afternoon with a gentleman. He reminds me of, do you know KFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know KFC, right? Colonel Sanders, right?
Yeah.
He was a colonel, retired in the army, and then he started, he loves cooking. He used to love cooking. So he used to do this fried chicken. And he used to distribute it, to his neighbors. And they loved it. And they are the ones who forced him to do a business. That's where Kentucky Fried Chicken started. And look where it is today, And so this man reminds me of that, because he was a senior executive in several companies, and he retired. Now he is probably close to 70. His name is Gautam Dhar. Now he wants to start a fully organic cosmetics.
Wow.
With a cosmetics that come with a affordable price. The outside cosmetics are very expensive. Not everybody can afford it. So he wants to do that. When I spoke with him on a Google Meet just 2 weeks ago, I was so inspired. I cannot tell you how much I got inspired by this man. And I told him, you remind me of Colonel Sanders.
Indian KFC.
Yeah, Indian KFC. And he started laughing. And this afternoon, I have a call with him because he requested me to have a discussion with his entire team. So he said, I cannot explain all these things. Let them learn what is happening beyond their duty. They need to know. They need to also start dreaming. Okay, this company is going here, here, here. I can contribute here. And I said, sure. So that's the call I'm having with him. And every time I speak with him, believe it or not, he's so quick to respond. And it's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going to have you interview him someday.
Definitely. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm totally for organic products.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
See, you connect investors and this startups or the growth businesses together, and you help them to scale and grow.
Yeah.
One thing which I have noticed is few of the startups, they do a startup with the intention of only getting funding and exiting. So how do you identify whether they are really concerned and these are the ones who will take the business? They might scale up the business, or they might be continuing the business for a long period of time, or is it just with the intention that they want to get that funding and take the exit route?
See, today funding is not easy. The investors are not just writing checks to everybody, right? Even if the idea is good, they don't write checks. They want to see the mindset of the entrepreneur, and easy capable of taking this, this company from level A to level B. So they are very, very shrewd and smart. So what we do is we start talking to the entrepreneur on the entrepreneur side. We guide them and coach them first. And then we prepare them to face the investors.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't right away say, no, your idea is bad, blah, 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 and all that. We don't discourage anybody, but we bring them to a level where they can communicate with the investors, not only communicate with investors, answer their questions properly. We guide them and coach them, then only we bring them to the investors. So investors are very, very happy that we have done our homework. We have done 90% of the work. They just have to do 10%, in the end.
So all the companies which get funded from your side,
they're all startups.
Mm-hmm.
We help startups. So they're all growing right now. And we have not, come to the unicorn stage yet and all that. And we just facilitate funding. That's what we say. We don't say we are getting them funding. We just facilitate it. First, let them grab the attention of the investor and the interest of the investor. Then we facilitate the whole process and we stay with them to make sure they're going in the right direction. Yeah, that's a value we add to the investor as well as the entrepreneur.
So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it as win-win-win. Everybody has to win. There should not be anybody who goes home. Sometimes what we do is we also connect people to people. One entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, because the services, they can exchange the services and support each other. And there also, then it becomes a 3-level wins, so it's always everybody. I tell my entrepreneurs or the service providers, I want you to take home no free service to anybody. Nothing should be free. I want you to take home even 1 rupee and sleep peacefully and say, I helped Geetha, she paid me 1 rupee. Rather than I helped Geetha, she never did anything to me. She never gave me anything.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference? And that has to be in the mindset of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, from what I understand is you work on the mindset first and the skill set also. So the mindset and skill set, once they are equipped, then you make them investor ready. And then the investor comes in and it's a journey together. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Yeah. Otherwise, they won't get invested. And then the investor will shut the door. He will never open it. And there are people who don't listen. Also. There are those who are not listeners also. I'll give you one example. I won't mention the name or anything. This man is he's a PhD again. And this man is in a very, very interesting food product thing. It will also help the sick people as well as the healthy people, and it has a great potential in the world. So he has to manufacture this product, right? And so he came to us. And we started coaching him, guiding him and all that. We even took him to some potential investors. And one investor came back to me and said, Geetha, he's trying to churn the ocean. He's trying to do everything possible. But he needs to first decide on priorities. And he needs to focus only on those priorities. You cannot do everything. You cannot manufacture. You cannot sell all that stuff. He needs to decide on something, then focus on it, take it to the next level, then other things. I wrote to him. I even sent the comments from the investor to this guy. He never came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we did all we could to advise him, to bring him to this level and make him realize what the gaps are in his business. And we are waiting. If he wants, it's an open door. If whenever he is ready, he will come back. And that time we know exactly what to ask him. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Yeah.
Okay. The person has just an idea. Can they walk into your innovation center and say, I have a brilliant idea. Will you help me in this? From that stage, from the ideation stage, do you help businesses or at least somebody who's already established?
Ideation stage also we help businesses. And we, in the beginning, when somebody comes to us with an idea, we connect them with some experts. And on one side, we connect them with some experts. On the other side, we connect them with some entrepreneurs who are our close friends and say, hey, take a look at this idea. It may be similar to what you were thinking before, and look at it. And then they immediately evaluate the whole thing and they tell them the positives and the negatives. And so these guys come back to us and then we say, how do you want to move forward? We do from that level also. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll give you one example. There is this one guy who has a brilliant idea about a tea. Mm-hmm. Not green tea, another kind of tea. It's called purple tea. And so I have tasted it personally. And this tea that he makes is made out of not leaves. It's made out of petals of a flower.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it has so much medicinal value and so many, good qualities in it, antioxidants and other things. We read the report and all that. That purple tea is another interesting thing. When you put the tea bag in the tea, in the cup, right? Hot water, it is blue in color. It's blue. It turns blue in color. Mm-hmm. Then you add 2 drops of citrus, lemon juice. Okay. Immediately it turns purple.
Oh,
it's amazing. From day one, we have gotten him some investors and all that. Now we have also connected him with some debt funders, and he's in the process of getting that also. He incubates with us. Mm-hmm. And without our knowledge, he got so excited about the money he got. Without our knowledge, he went and opened up a shop, like a tea shop in a main street. Then he started selling, and he was making some good money and all that stuff. But he got contracted with COVID. He was not able to, he got recovered and all that stuff. His family members got COVID and all that. He just was not able to maintain that shop. Again, we came back to him, but we were telling him that, opening up shop comes with a lot of costs, right? Mm-hmm. Lot of cost, maintenance, and every day managing it will be too much. Instead of that, just focus on B2B marketing, mm-hmm. like e-commerce, right? Just focus on that. But he was so passionate. He got this money and he wanted to do something and all that. Without telling us, he went ahead and did it. Now he's realizing what he did was a mistake. And now he's trying to sell that little shop to somebody else, pass it on to somebody else. And I told him, I will not take you to any investors unless you are e-commerce. Because that's the only thing that is, you learned your lesson. And it's so much maintenance. The same amount of time he can focus on procuring orders. And because it is such a phenomenon, purple tea, blue to purple and all that, people are going to kill to try it at least.
Very true.
Yeah. So now he has realized, and he said to me the other day, ma'am, I should have listened to you. And I said, that is your first step in success. First step in success. Not that you are listening to my advice, but you are realizing. And you could have done this without opening that shop or going through losses and all that. It's okay. You will never forget this lesson in life. He's a young guy. You can always bounce back. Mm-hmm. And we have got 2 investors lined up for him already.
Awesome.
Provided he goes the e-commerce way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you think are the few common mistakes which most entrepreneurs commit when they start off?
See, one thing they do is they have the passion. Passion is essential, but it should not be at a level where it is blinding your success. That's one thing people do. Second, of course, in India, collaboration, they don't believe in that. And they keep on struggling with whatever they have. And the third thing is that ability or the interest to change course. That's very, very important. Successful entrepreneurs do that, but most of the other entrepreneurs don't do that, especially women. They're so passionate about something and they don't change at all. It takes very long time for them to get out of it and change their course. Very, very important. So those who have these abilities will succeed, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for winning teams, what do you think are the qualities, three most important qualities, if at all, like, as you said, most of them, they'll be solopreneurs and then they slowly start building teams and then they won't be knowing, most of the entrepreneurs won't be knowing how to manage a team.
Yeah. First, you need to learn how to manage teams, how to manage people. That you have to learn. As long as you start hiring people, even one person, two people, you need to manage them. Otherwise, things won't work managing people is a skill and it's a learned and practiced skill, so you have to learn that. And then you also have to learn, you also have to be open to get experts. And network is very important. You have to have a network. You need to know how to leverage the network. And people are out there to help you. But you have to welcome them. You have to get them in your door. If you keep a door shut, nobody will come. That's very important. And the sense of collaboration is important. And I want to win. I want that person to win also. Yeah. And I'll give you one example that tells the mentality. We said we are going to, every time we consult with somebody, we do an MOU with them. MOU is just a memorandum of understanding. It is not a contract. In US, we do a contract because that is in the practice. And the contract spells, this is what I do, this is what you are going to pay me for, blah, blah, blah. But here, if you say a contract, people get scared. People start thinking about legal issues, this, that, and everything. So we came up with an MOU. And when we do an MOU, we spell it out very clearly what expectations we have from them and what expectations they can have from us, right? And if there is anything that is not mentioned, they get very, very nervous. And then consulting fees, right? We have a consulting fee. We say that we charge this part of consulting fee. And then they say, let us go for 3 months and see how you do. And then we will start paying. I said, that doesn't work that way. And in 3 months, I'm spending all my time and you have to respect my time. I respect your time. You have to respect my time. This is something we had to teach so many entrepreneurs in this country. See, in US, we say time is money. Right? You have heard the phrase.
Yes.
Even 1 minute of somebody's time is money, right? And they have the highest respect for time in the US. And even if you don't ask, they send you a check. They say, I spent 1 hour with you. You gave me your time. Here is my humble payment, even though you don't bill them or ask them. That's how much the regard they have for time. Here they don't. It's very unfortunate. And you have to respect other people's time. You can't tell me, you help me for 6 months and I'll see what I can do about paying. And we say no. You have to start from day one. And if you are unsatisfied or if we feel that we did not give you the time, we'll reimburse the money to you. I would rather have that practice than you waiting for 6 months. And that is another thing we are teaching people. You have to respect other people's time.
Awesome. I think this is a very important value which you are bringing in, because most of them don't even know that they have to value it also.
Yeah. You have to value it first. And suppose we charge 100 rupees an hour. I'm just giving you an example. And if you are a little bit hesitant in the beginning, or if you cannot afford it, hesitation is personal. I don't believe in that, right? You can hesitate and you can pretend you didn't like it. But if you're not able to pay 100 rupees, pay me 10 rupees. Pay me 10 rupees. But you have to pay.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pre-COVID times were different, and now post-COVID, of course, in terms of either in terms of investment or in terms of business taking off, what do you see the difference?
There are certain businesses are very badly affected, and certain businesses had a slow period. Now they are picking up. For example, what has really helped because of COVID is this home delivery business. Yeah, as you can imagine, right? Even a smallest grocery store is trying to, have that take online orders, take the orders, deliver, blah, 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 and all that. Whereas some businesses, that's one example. There are so many others. And of course, technology services has also increased because now the technology is changing. The way you do technology is changing. People are understanding, businesses are understanding platforms. Businesses are understanding online business and all that stuff, services and all that. So that is working. Whereas, this work at home culture is increasing like crazy, and that's going to stay for a while. Whereas the businesses that are affected very badly are restaurants and hotels and also PGs. So it is going to take a little while for them. I know of a couple of PGs who had to shut down completely because all the people left and all that stuff. And they will have to reinvent and see, how they can, don't know how you can reinvent a PG because it's a living thing. Unless they come up with certain additional services like get sick, we are here to help you. Additional support system they can give. So the people who live there, we have to think about all that, some additional support they can give. So things of that nature. Also in the PGs, they used to have bunk beds, one sleeping over the other, 2 or 3 people. That has to go. They have to give individual spaces, breathing spaces, all that healthy stuff. If they can add some health benefits, I think that will pick up slowly. So like that, you have to do that. For us, I tell you, business has increased like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, because we are there to advise people, to guide them. So we are making them see something that they are not seeing. So they see the value and they are coming back. Even in our innovation centers, we have 250 people who incubate with us. Right? And only about 3 or 4 people had to shut down their business. Most of them have come back.
Awesome. So were there any point in your business where you felt that, no, I cannot take this further, or it was a very disappointing thing, some lowest point in your entire business experience?
I'll change that word in the lowest point to realization. Right? And I'm very, very quick to realize things and understand things. I'm very quick to change the course or add new services, take off services that doesn't work. Very, very quick. You have to be very, very fast and to reinvent or change the course. 2 words that I use. With that, we did not have, sometimes we used to wonder, are we doing the right thing? So far, very few mistakes. Of course, we do mistakes. We learn very quickly. Not saying we don't do mistakes at all. That's the wrong thing to say. We do make mistakes, but we are just as quick to change and learn and move on.
Okay. So how big is your team in?
Okay. My team in Bangalore is only 6 people. And we have just hired 1 person to make calls. So we are about 7 people here. We have 1 person in the US managing the whole thing. And rest of the people, we learned rather than hiring people, better to get consultants and partners.
Okay.
Yeah. So for marketing, we have a consulting partner. For accounting, we have several consulting partners. And so we use them. And that also brings us revenues. And they share their income with us, certain percent. We don't hire anybody. Our hiring practices is not there at all.
So it's a collaborative process.
Collaborative practice.
Awesome. She's Gunjan.
Hey, Gunjan.
Hi, how are you?
Wow, you look like a primary school student. Not even high school. What's your background, Gunjan?
No, I'm studying in grade 10 right now.
Oh, see, my guess is correct. Yeah.
What would you like to say to like the younger generation, the coming up Gen Z, as they say it? Any advice or for someone starting out right now? So what would you like to tell them?
I tell people there is no age bar to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
No age bar. You can be in first grade, still do something. So invent something, right? If you have that passion, if you have a good idea, ask people like your auntie there, get advice, because you may not know everything. Always be open to get advice and move forward. See, what happened in my life is my late husband was a physician. He was a PhD in cytogenetics from Berkeley, California, and he was a medical doctor from Harvard University, and he was a practicing physician. He was a pediatrician, but he passed away very early in his age. And I have only one son, Sham. I was in US in high school, starting from 8th grade. In summertime, companies give internship for kids like this, right? And so that they can learn and get exposed to things. Thinking that my son is going to follow his father's footsteps, I used to put him as an intern in hospitals. Yeah, in hospitals. He would be happy, he would come home. But when he was 15, he was in second year in high school. He came home and he said, Mom, but then he had lost his father. He said, Mom, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to follow my father's footsteps. I want to be an entrepreneur. Because he used to volunteer in TiE.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
how he learned entrepreneurship. Right? And I want to be an entrepreneur. And on top of it, next day, he brought 5 kids. He's already building his team. He brought 5 students like him. And he said, can you teach us entrepreneurship?
Wow.
We don't know anything. Can you teach us? That's when I started this program in TiE called TiE Young Entrepreneurs. It's a 12-week course. I recommend you join that course next time when they are open. And it's a 12-week course, 8 weeks, once a week. You hear from the most successful entrepreneurs out there in the Bangalore community, and you learn from them. They teach one aspect of aspect of a business plan. Do you know a business plan?
Like how to structure like your...
Yeah. See, you know more than I do. How to structure and all that. So there are several aspects to it. For example, idea. Just getting an idea is a good thing. But after that, you need to validate the idea in the market. Is this a good idea or not? So that is one course we give. It's a 2-hour workshop, that's all. So you go for 8 weeks, you learn all about the aspects of business plan. And after that, you form teams amongst your classmates. You pick whoever you want, you form teams. You come up with your own idea and develop that into a business plan with the help of a mentor. Who are the mentors? They are successful entrepreneurs out there. You won't believe who can be your mentor. We will put some mentors to you, and you will be so excited to work with this man or woman. And after that, kids, you like to know where you are, right? So what is the best way to learn? Business plan competition. We have a business plan competition locally in our chapter, and the first place winner in local chapter, they go to TiE Global and they compete for the global prize of something like $50,000 plus investors, all that. And kids come out, and I tell kids like you, there are only 3 winners in every chapter. Don't be disappointed. The opportunities you get and the learning you get, it is irreplaceable in your life. When I learned about, entrepreneurship when I was in my 30s, only because I joined TiE. If I didn't join TiE, I would have gone on with my career. right? So it's the opportunity you get. So that is the best thing, and so you have so much in your life to accomplish, and the kind of people you meet, amazing. The inspiration you get is amazing. And we have that global network. We can connect you with anybody you want. You can come back and say, I didn't like this person. Can you connect me somebody else? Absolutely. We'll connect you with 10 people you can select.
Wow, that's real good.
Yeah. And so TiE was started in Boston in 2005. We did the first business plan competition in MIT. Do you know MIT?
Yeah.
MIT Media Lab. And then every year, the global organization of TiE, we were doing it at a chapter level at Boston. And the global organization used to recognize us and give us an award every year, best education program. So in 2008, I myself went to Houston to receive this award. So when I was coming down the dais, in the front table, the leaders of all the TiE Global, plus the Deshpande, Gururaj Deshpande, they were all sitting there. And there is another gentleman who we call him as father of TiE. His name is late Dr. C.K. Prahalad. Look up his videos in YouTube. He was a professor in Michigan University. He wrote our bylaws for TiE. He was the first person to come up with the concept of you can start a business in the bottom of the pyramid. He calls it as bottom of the pyramid, right? Mm-hmm. Bottom of the pyramid is what? It's the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
See, India has 3 levels. Bottom of the pyramid, which is the highest population, then middle class and upper middle class, then rich class. Rich class is only 10% of India's population, right? The bottom of the pyramid has 400 million people in the bottom. And they're all like villagers, tier 2, tier 3 cities, laborers, very poor people. And he said, even in the bottom of that pyramid, you can start a business and you can be successful.
Wow.
And you know who took that idea and became successful? The 1 rupee ice cream guys. He said, you can create an ice cream, for 1 rupee. You know how they could not afford refrigerators. Do you know what they used?
Those push carts.
Push cart thing and clay pots. Clay pots has holes in it, fine holes. And it breathes. So they would put a layer of salt, layer of stones, and layer of water. That is your refrigerator.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they started. And they created this 1 rupee ice cream, candy and ice cream in a container. They are so successful today. The second people who became successful by taking his idea is the people who created the sachet business. Do you know what a sachet is? You pay 1 rupee, you get a shampoo. You pay 1 rupee, you get pickle. So these poor people, they can easily spend 1 rupee and buy a pickle for 1 meal. Or they can use it for 2 meals. I usually buy a sachet of pickle, use it for 2 meals because it's too spicy for me, and I say, oh, I eat little, like that. They became so successful. Where are these ideas coming from? It's coming from bright people and successful entrepreneurs out there. And look up Dr. Gururaj Deshpande. He started the Deshpande Foundation in Hubli. That's his hometown. And today he has a center that has 84,000 square feet. That is an incubation center for our entrepreneurs. And he only takes entrepreneurs from 2nd tier, 3rd tier cities. None of them from cities, big cities like Bangalore. And they bring them up, right? I'll give you one more story that will inspire all of us. His father, Guru Deshpande's father, he's in Hubli. 15 years ago, he just told Desh that, in Akshayapatra, they have this program called midday meals. Yeah? Just to keep poor students in government schools. Because In the morning, they go to school without breakfast. They're so poor, right? And their parents send them, give them a cup of milk or something, they send them. And they're starving all day. And and if they don't have money to buy lunch. They can't afford lunch. What do? They drop out from school. I don't want to go to school today. I'm hungry, right? So because to solve that, this Akshayapatra Foundation, they serve meals, midday meals to school children. That is the only meal they have all day. And they go home, they have dinner with their parents, right? This man said to Desh, father said to son, just take a look at this program, Akshayapatra. He didn't say anything else. So Desh goes and, meets those people, the leaders of ISCON. They're in Bangalore. He came to Bangalore, met the leaders and all that. And he took that Akshayapatra concept to US.
Wow.
He took it to US, right? And what he does there, we have volunteered for his program. It's called as Akshayapatra Fundraising Dinner. That's it. So what they do, they invite all rich people or successful people, Indians, non-Indians, everybody, and into a very, very expensive hotel, right? And we have a fancy dinner, all funded by Desh. That dinner has two purposes. One, to these people contribute for the Akshayapatra. So they talk about Akshayapatra and they have a video and all that. They talk about the kitchens, all that stuff. And it's so inspiring for us that the program is doing this. Second most important thing is networking. Rich people meet rich people, successful people meet successful people. They become friends. They take their businesses, business partnership happens. That is a second quiet value that you get. Nobody talks about that. Only people talk about, I Akshayapatra, I went to Akshayapatra dinner and all that. And there, the way they raise money, they don't say, give the money, this, that, and everything. Very straightforward. Right in front of your table, front of your chair, there is a pledge card. No nonsense. You pledge the money right there.
Wow.
Yeah. No nonsense. Pledge the money right there. If you go home without pledging, they will call you. You came for our dinner. Maybe you forgot to pledge there also. Maybe you forgot. Can we have your money? Right? So they ask so politely. Can you guess? I'll ask you. Can you guess, Gunjan, how much money he raises in one dinner? Let's say we get about 200 people.
Around 100,000?
Go higher.
Millions?
Yes. He raises at least $5 to $8 million per dinner.
Wow.
Per dinner. People also volunteer. They also support the kitchens, building of the kitchens. One of my closest friends, Saloni Fadia from Boston, she is from Gujarat. And in Vrindavan, they were building a kitchen. They were trying to build a kitchen there. And she stood up and she said, I want to take half the cost of your building the kitchen in Vrindavan.
Awesome.
Yeah, like that, So it amounts to up to $8 million. And he does it in big cities, like where a lot of Indians are there. Boston, New York, New Jersey, San Francisco, places like that. Atlanta, places like that. Even today, every year, they send money. And every paisa of that money, penny we call it, that he raises, comes directly to ISCON, Akshayapatra Foundation. I was talking to somebody recently and I said, how is Akshayapatra? Ma'am, we have absolutely no funds in rupees. We are managing by US dollars.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that comes from US. Mention Desh's name, they're ready to fall on his feet. Like that. These are inspirational stories that inspires me at my level. And I try to tell these stories to others so it inspires them also.
Truly, it's very, very inspiring.
Yeah. And today, it is not men or women. Everybody can be successful. Every person can be successful. And that's why I'm chairing this program called TiE Women Entrepreneurs. We just started that program last year, and I'm chairing it for 2 years at least, and just to bring it to a certain level. And I'm not interested in business plan competition and giving them a prize. I'm interested in guiding them, making them learn the ropes of being an entrepreneur. Then you let them loose, they become successful. See, think of a cliff, right? If you don't know how to climb, you can be dreaming, I want to go there. If you don't know how to climb, you're going to stay down. That's my process. That's my belief. You have to give them tools. You have to teach them. And if they need a rope, give them a rope, right? And maybe give them a coach. And, when you come across a stone, you have to be careful. You should not slip. You have to climb like this. If you don't give them the tools, they're going to fall somewhere and die.
Very true.
Right? So it is very, very important. And Desh does that all the time.
Wow.
And, he has taken so many. His real story is, his personal story is, he is in the mobile technology. He has a doctorate in mobile technology from US. He came to Boston. He wanted to start a company in mobile technology. His technology was so forward thinking, it was not working. So he tells in his speeches, I failed. I started 6 companies. I failed in all 6 companies.
Oh.
Yeah. How humble he is, right? The 7th company he started was Cascade Communications. That was invested by Matrix Partners and other VC companies and all that. That became a huge success. Within 5 years, it got acquired.
Wow.
He made a lot of money in that. And then he didn't stop there. He started another company within 6 months called Sycamore Networks. Again, mobile technology. And like no other Indian, after he started Sycamore, within 6 months, he took it public.
Wow.
Nobody takes a company within 6 months public.
Yes.
They have to wait for a few years and all that. But he had so much influence and knowledge and all that stuff. And when he took it public, he made a killing. Even I invested in Sycamore Networks. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. You take the stocks and, the shares and all that. I also invested in a small way. He became the 4th richest man in US for 4 months. He made that much money, right? And today, of course, Sycamore Networks got acquired by some private equity firm. He made money there also. And today, he is the first Indian American. I hope he's not the last. He's the first Indian American who sits on the board of MIT.
Ooh.
He's a board member of MIT. And MIT has given him a free space, a huge space of 4,000 square feet for him to have an office there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he has Deshpande Foundation board, Akshayapatra board, and people get so inspired. Even Americans contribute to Akshayapatra. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Awesome.
So like that, what I'm saying is, if you do good work and show that you have done it and you are successful, anybody in the world will follow you. Gunjan, I want you to be like that, a woman entrepreneur.
Of course.
Yeah.
So now, any happy or funny incident which you remember, which brings a smile across your face every time?
Yeah. This is about my son.
Okay.
Yeah. When I became pregnant, in my family, I really had difficulty conceiving him. I had to go on a regimen, like a fertility program and a regimen in order to conceive him. So it took me 3 years to conceive him. Finally, when I went to the doctor, he said quietly, okay, you're pregnant now. And I said to him, doctor, are you sure? He looked at me, started smiling, and he said, look at the test results. Right? You are very pregnant, he said. So that was a funny moment. Then I come home. Then the day I came home with the test results to tell my husband about it, he just got accepted to medical school that day, but he had to go to Texas to take the courses. He comes home and he says, I just got accepted in medical school. Then I said, what do we do now? Then immediately I told him, let me call my father about this, right? So we called my father, and my father learned about his acceptance in medical school and my becoming pregnant. And he said, I bless you both. And I said to him, what do you mean you bless us both? He's going away to to medical school. Then he said, Geetha, don't worry. I'll send your mother to take care of you. That's all I needed. And I told my husband, you can go now. And then within 1 month, he had to pack up and leave. Then my mom came about a couple months before my due date. And then she helped me, and I, received her in the airport and all that and stuff. So now delivery day comes, right? They prepped me. My delivery was very fast. Within a couple of hours, my son was born. My labor, when I tell my people, what is labor? I didn't have anything. They laugh at me. So they brought my mother into the delivery room and all that. The delivery was very quick. And the doctor from the other end, he says, you have a boy. I said, are you sure? Because in my family, every first child is a daughter. So I was imagining I'm going to have a daughter. I even had picked a couple of names for a girl, right? There are no names for boys. So I said, are you sure? Then he said, I'm very sure. So he brought the baby and showed me and put the baby on my chest and all that. Then I look at my mother and I say, Mom, what do I do? I don't have a name for a boy. Because it was a normal delivery, they would discharge me the same day. They would discharge me the same day, and they would give a birth certificate, and they needed a name by afternoon. So yeah, like that. They give a birth certificate, they need a name. So I said, what do I do? I used to sing this one song of Lata Mangeshkar and I think he was... I don't know the male singer, I forget. So that song is Ghanashyama Sundara. I used to sing it in all the parties. They used to force me to sing that song. And I used to sing both Hindi version and Kannada version. Ghanashyama Sundara. So my mother said, you used to sing this song. So God has given you Ghanashyam. You can name him Ghanashyam. So that's how we named him Ghanashyam. So, and we call him Sham for short. And that's one success I'm very proud of. And he has become a very successful entrepreneur. He's my partner. And so I'm very, very happy about that, about him and his accomplishments.
That's great.
Yeah. So these are funny incidents in my life.
Awesome. So now we will move on to the rapid fire round.
Oh, go ahead.
So firstly, what are 3 qualities about yourself that you admire the most, or that you love about yourself?
First thing is positive energy. I always have positive energy and positive belief in myself. I never, even when I'm down like crazy, I don't think negatively. So positive energy and the ability to inspire other people, to communicate and inspire other people. Those are the 2 qualities I admire. And that they're always willing to change, willing to adapt and adopt. There are 2, this thing. I'm willing to adapt to any circumstance and willing to adopt any new things that come my way. Those are the 3 qualities.
Wow. So now, do you think sense of humor is important in business circles?
Yes. Very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to worry and, not go anywhere. Sense of humor, that moment when you are experiencing something bad, you may not have the sense of humor. I always tell myself, when something happens to me, first thing I say is, what the hell?
Okay.
So that kind of brings me back to that normal level. And then I start thinking, okay, what do we do from here?
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, how do you rate yourself for sense of humor?
9.9.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm always laughing like this. And my son sometimes, he has a different personality. He comes and, Mom, we have a problem. Don't say problem. Okay, tell me what it is at least. I now he has gotten used to me. And I said, I don't see a problem as much as you are seeing. It's all about the depth or the height. Depth of the problem. And, so I don't see anything. And once he talks to me and I give him some solution, then he feels better. Because I'm an Aries. Do you know the zodiac signs?
Yeah, I'm also an Arian.
Oh, that's great. I love Aries. I love to interact with Arians. And I'm an Aries. My son is a Scorpio. So he's always very careful, and I bring him to the normal level first, and then I inspire him later. Yeah.
Awesome.
So now, what's the best compliment that you've ever received?
The funny and the best compliment that I ever received was, there was a event in TiE. They did it in my favor, actually, which I didn't know. I just went there. And they gave me a toy of a bunny. You know what a bunny is? It's a rabbit. Yeah. And it's a standing rabbit. It just goes, walks. And so you have to put a battery to it. So they gave that as a gift to me, and I was laughing like crazy. Oh my God, this is a funny gift. And I still have it in my Boston, in my home, even today. And they called it as Energizer Bunny. and they said, we don't have to say anymore. This is the best gift for you. That is the funniest moment of my life. Yeah. And even when I go to Boston today, some old friends, they ask me, do you still have that bunny with you? That's all. Yeah. That energy, if you have positive energy, it's contagious. Even if somebody is, mourning someone, what I do is, when I go, I hardly go to these kind of events, but when I go, I start praising that person. Everybody looks at me. They used to look at me, at least in my family. They used to look at me and they used to say, are you crazy? Aren't you supposed to mourn? I said, what's the point? What's the point in crying and mourning? You have to highlight their successes. That is the best thing you can do for that person.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that is what I do.
Great. What is that one sentence which you tell yourself to move ahead in life?
To bounce back.
To bounce back. That's what I said. What the hell, right? I start with that. Yeah. And then how do I move forward? How do I get out? And how do I change course? Right. Yeah. And, I always never complain. Any problems that come to me, I say, I'm glad this came to me. I invite it with open arms because I know I can take it. Yeah.
Great. So who influenced you the most in your life?
First of all, it's my father. I was my father's girl, and he used to protect me. I mean, he used to inspire me so much. And even when I was a little girl, like 9, 10, he was in the US when he left India. He got his PhD from Berkeley, California also in those days. When I was 4, he left. When I was 6 years later, 10, he came back. I got attached to him so much. He got attached to me so much. We were so close. He even, believe it or not, he even used to take me to board meetings because I was so well behaved. I used to sit in one corner and listen to everything. When I never used to understand, I used to come home and ask him, what do they mean by that? What did they mean by that? Like that. That was my first inspirer and teacher. And then he knew that I would get married very early in life and leave. So he would protect me, so much, and he used to love me so much. Then my mother also used to give me a different kind of value. She was a solid support to my father. So, and also, do you know this proverb that they say in India, that is the fruit behind the leaf?
ಎಲೆ ಮರದ ಕಾಯಿ.
Kai, Kannadadalli ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. So my mother was like that.
Okay.
She was so solid, and she would support my family and also my father without him knowing it. And then after he passed away, she became an entrepreneur in a way. She started our Telugu Association, our Padmashali Association for Women. She did all those things. And so that she was my second person who inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, I can tell you today that I am blessed with so many people that I have met who are great people in the world. And I'm so blessed with it because of the TiE network and TiE influence. And I can't even tell you what I learned from anybody who inspires me most. I can't tell you, because they all, the CK Prahalad, we used to joke with him, and he is such a source of inspiration to me. Every time I read that bottom of the pyramid, only one thing I think is, if I can help 10 of those people, that will be great. Like that. So I'm so blessed, not with money. I don't say money is not important for me. I'm so blessed with people who inspire me on one side. I learn from the other side, and I give on the third side.
Mm-hmm. Trinity.
Yeah. Those are the three things I'm very fortunate about.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So lastly, we would just try to understand, what are the three values which you value the most in your life?
First value is, it's that giving, right? You understand people and you figure out what they can, what are their gaps. Don't tell them that, and help them. That is something that you have to inspire people. You help them, guide them. Just by inspiration, they are not going anywhere. And support them. Guide them, support. So first is inspire them, guide them, and support. Those are the three things. If you give, everybody that you come across will become a successful entrepreneur, businessman, or a career person. No problem. They can choose whatever they want.
Awesome. I think with this, we come to the end of this talk.
Great.
It was wonderful. It was really a wonderful talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Gunjan.
Nice. Same here.
Yeah.
I thank Miss Geetha Ramamurthy from the bottom of my heart for her time and sharing her amazing journey with an open heart and childlike enthusiasm. Her engaging and energizing experiences are a huge learning for everyone who listens to this piece of conversation. Here are my few takeaways from this remarkable conversation. The first one, nobody can be you. Secondly, have a changing attitude to reinvent yourself and change course quickly. Thirdly, staying in touch with people who inspire you again and again. Fourthly, ability to unlearn and learn new things. The fifth one being, develop the mindset of no free service to anyone. And sixth, always be open to getting advice and move forward.
Never lose out on an opportunity to learn from the life lessons of real-time business owners on Dream 100 Show. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Dream 100 Show.
And now make a smart decision of taking the next step towards your dreams. We strongly believe that life is just a play, as
we win some, we lose some,
we miss some, and we mess with some. So enjoy your journey and play to the fullest.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Dream 100 Show and leave a review.
Share your biggest takeaways with us and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Savita
And Gunjan signing off. Catch you soon in our next episode.